Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is technical analysis of the stock market today. Today is Saturday, February 21st. We're going to take a look at the market the way we usually do on the weekend edition. We're going to look at daily and weekly charts, look at the indicators, and several of the ETFs. So we're looking at zooming in on the markets types of thing. And then we're going to look at 5 stocks: Micron Technologies, NXPI Semiconductors, QIHU 360, SolarCity, and Apple. All right, we're going to start off here with the Dow Industrials. It was up 154 points yesterday. So as I talked about on Thursday, we were just kind of going sideways, and we've broken up through this, and it looks like it is, smashed through this little resistance that it had been struggling to get through from the December high. So this looks like a breakout to me. It looks like it's trying to break out. Now, again, what we need is to see follow through if this is truly going to go. But right now, it's riding above the 10-day exponential moving average, and it is looking positive right now. S&P 500, same thing. All of the indices except the Nasdaq are all at record highs as of the close on Friday. So again, here's the SPX, S&P 500. Really nice bullish chart. Everything closed near the high or on the high of the day. Yeah, it's almost exactly on the high, pretty close. And yes, I am still struggling with my voice. I still have not gotten rid of this cold. And it's close, but I'm still not quite there, so bear with me. And the Nasdaq continues its push higher. I mean, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days up in a row. So, I think I commented when it was up 5 days in a row. Well, there's nothing saying that it can't be up 10 or 15 days in a row. I mean, you just never know what the market's going to do. I mean, you just don't. New York Composite, this is really nice how it's broken above this trend line here. I mean, that looks pretty bullish to me. I'm calling it a neckline. I still think it's a possibility that this is kind of a head and shoulders type consolidation pattern, continuation pattern. Let me zoom in on this a little bit more. You can see this bar. I mean, so now, this closed at a new all-time high. This broke above the high from July and the September intraday high. The high close was July 3rd, and now we've broken above that and closed above that. So that's that's looking pretty bullish, at least on the short term. Russell 2000, same thing. Again, they sold off intraday. It was down. All of these were kind of that kind of action, and then they closed higher. And a lot of it was, they put it on the Greece thing, and I know Greece had a press release and press announcement and press conference at 1 o'clock Central Time, 2 o'clock New York time. And then the market kind of kicked in high gear after that when they talked about the 4-month extension for Greece. And so, that's what kind of, put the final thrust into the market for the day. All right, let's take a look at the weekly. Again, just, kind of a continuation. Smaller bar. Same thing on the S&P 500, but we're back up. I mean, it just continues to trend. And this same thing on the Nasdaq. Now here's I've got these dotted lines. The lower dotted line, I believe, is the all-time closing high on a weekly basis, and the higher dotted line is the all-time high on an intra-week basis. So the Nasdaq is getting very, very close to breaking above that 2000 high. New York Composite, and here's clearly where you can see the breakout a little bit more. I mean, that looks pretty clear in there. And let's see, the Russell 2000 weekly. Yeah, the interesting thing in the Russell, I think I talked about this before, is this consolidation. And the fact that it's now breaking above this consolidation, it implies it's kind of like a little box. When you break out of it, you know, instantly I start to think, well, the projected move is going to be equal to the distance of the box. And so that's why I have this target up here. It says, well, we'll see if the Russell 2000 gets to 1347. So that's what I'm thinking. So we'll watch to see if that's what plays out or not. All right, let's take a look at the indicators. Short-term trading index has pulled back up, you know, the 10-day. And look at this extreme. You know, had some little, you know, kind of wild trading on Friday. And, you know, intraday high get pretty extreme up here, 3.27. But the 10-day on the close is 0.98. 10-day moving average is 1.02. It's back into the neutral zone. But we'll see whether or not this little one-day extreme reading gives us any kind of warning or not. I mean, it kind of did a little bit over here back on November, what is this? November 21st. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, the VIX. All right, this has now closed. Lowest close, 14.3 since this day right here. It's actually closing below these closes. So December 8th. So this is kind of confirming a little bit of the breakout on the market. You know, so the fact that the VIX has come down, closing below all of this, breaking down out of this, you know, pattern here. So you know, again, it looks confirming to me of the market move. Let's take a look at the high-low, and you know, we're not getting a whole lot new out of the high-low. We're not getting a, you know, you'd think again for a 150-day move, 150-point move on the Dow, we would have a little bit stronger than this. So, well, again, looking to see if we get some more strength on new highs versus new lows coming in. We're not seeing it yet. Let's go back to the McClellan oscillator. Which is in, I have it, it's a part of the New York Composite Index. So this has not, this is based, the McClellan oscillator is tied with, it's a calculation based off advanced declines. And so when you're looking for extremes above 150 and below minus 150, okay? And so right now we're still kind of in that neutral zone. We haven't gotten to that extreme reading in terms of being, you know, overbought or oversold. So, you know, we've just been chopping sideways in here. And that's what I'm looking at and waiting to see if something starts to develop. It looks like, you know, this is kind of compressing, and I'm expecting it to expand to the high side as the market continues to push to the high side. All right, now let's go ahead and dive in. We'll take a look at the semiconductor. Okay, so here's the SMH semiconductor ETF. Again, closing, you know, on the high for, almost on the high for the day, high for the week. And I think that's a new 52-week, yeah, it looks like it is, and multi-year high. So, you know, semiconductors continue to lead to the high side. So it's broken above that high here on December 5th, high close. The next one is the home builders. There we are. And the home builders are doing the same thing. I mean, so I talked about this last week, and you know, again, the trend is continuing to push to the high side. And the financial ETF. Now, this one is lagging a little bit. Okay, when I look at this and I say, well, you know, the market's pushed up, but, you know, the financial ETF's done this. But, you know, I had a nice bullish looking day on Friday. So we'll see whether or not it can play catch up or whether it continues to stall out. And that could be the start of some kind of divergence for a top. I mean, we're just going to have to watch. I mean, these are the things, this is why I look at these things to see if things start to give you any kind of signal. Okay, now we'll look at the high yield bond fund. Here we go, high yield bond fund. So this is confirming also that we are in risk on mode. So the appetite for high yield bonds, they're, you know, the price is going up on them, and you know, people are buying them, and that happens when the market's rising, and so that's kind of a confirming thing too. And we've seen that. We saw where, you know, we got this breakout, got the moving averages crossed, started trending here in late January. All right, the next one is TLT. If I can find these a little bit faster. This list gets a little hard to look at. So this continues to trend to the downside, and, you know, which is a sign that long-term interest rates are rising. Okay, so that's interesting how, okay, now, I mean, granted, they're still extremely low, but they've been rising since the peak here on January 30th. So for the last 2 weeks, that's what we're experiencing. And the next one I wanted to look at is the dollar index. So the dollar index is going sideways. And, you know, this is just, it continues just a sign of, you know, consolidating. I mean, now, if I look at this, I mean, you could make a sign. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see as this break out to the, this looks a little bit like a, you know, a pennant type formation right now, which based on the move that it's had would signal another move to the high side. Now, if that happens, then that would mean that oil is going to continue to drop. So I would think, because that's what's been happening with this move over here. So let's go find 12-month oil. Where is United States 12-month oil? There it is. It's been consolidating in here, which is exactly what the dollar's been doing. Okay. So now, are we going to get this breakdown? And it, you know, we're getting a couple of days below the 10. It does look like it's now starting to come back down out of this. You know, I'd drawn this consolidation or trend line, little trend line in here, but it does, given a couple closes below the 10, we break below this low here, 25.26. I think we're heading down, and so it'll be interesting to watch that whole U.S. dollar as the U.S. dollars start to resume to the upside. And the last one we're going to take a look at is gold, GLD, and this pulled back this last week. You know, this pulled back a lot more than I thought it did. I thought it was going to stop here at this neckline, but it looks like this has failed again, and so. Right now, I'm not sure what this pattern is doing. And it looks to me like it's kind of a, and I talked about this, like maybe an A, B, C, you know, maybe an A. And so I think this is some kind of corrective action, given that, you know, I do think we've had 5 waves down from this peak. Okay. So I think we're kind of moving this way in some kind of corrective action. Again, the fact that this is overlapping tells you it's in corrective mode. The fact that this has come down and overlapped the high here. So this is a corrective pattern moving sideways to up is what I'm thinking. So we'll watch to see, do we get any kind of reversal here on gold at all? Or does it pull all the way back down and retest down here? I mean, right now it's in short-term trend is definitely solid to the downside. All right, let's jump in and take a look at our stocks today. I'm going to start off here with Micron Technology. Okay, MU. This is, if you look at this pullback a little bit, this is in a kind of a topping pattern also. This is look like it's just kind of been going sideways since mid-year last year. And nice, it's been, you know, nice run, nice big rally, and then it's been topping since then. Looked like it was trying to break down here in October with the big sell-off, came back, but now it's, you know, it's still in this zone. You know, it's, you know, between 37 and 27 really thing. But now it looks like it is trying to make a run in here. Short-term trend is to the high side. Get the moving averages crossed, and it looks like it's trying to push to the high side. If I look to see if it, you know, got a little this pivot in here. Be interesting to see as it break this and continue to push, come back up and start to test these high points, these high pivots up here. No specific play, just, you know, find it interesting. But again, you know, the thing that you've got to recognize is that you're in this zone that could just create, you know, just continue to bounce back and forth. There's, you know, so, and you're right now in the middle of that zone. So it could be a nice play, gambling that's going to get back up to 35.5 to 36.5. The next one is NXP semiconductors. There it is. And NXP has been really, I mean, this has been just a tremendous bull move. I mean, look at this trending, beautiful high side, and it's just kind of, it's doing like stair stepping. A little bit of stair stepping, and then it chops sideways consolidation, stair steps out of it, chops sideways. And you know, that seems to be what it's doing. I mean, there's no sign right now that this trend is looking like it's in trouble. I mean, it keeps trying to push to the high side. The indicators seem to be confirming it, and you know, it's riding above. You know, it broke out of this consolidation right in here. I saw this move on this day, and now I'm kind of kicking myself for not, you know, jumping in here. But you know, be that as it may, it just sometimes when it gets so choppy, I don't really like that. And, you know, and so you're not really quite sure what's going on with it. But right now I'd have to say, you know, it's just looking like the upward trend is continuing. Don't have a specific Elliott wave count on it at this point. QIHU 360, on the other hand, I do have a little more of an Elliott wave picture. This has really gotten whacked the last few days. And I think this was after earnings. I think earnings came out on the 17th, I believe. So it's broken down out of this sideways consolidation in here. And so that breakdown, which is about 10 points, would imply to me that 55 would go down to 45. Okay. Now, it's interesting that I've had this head and shoulders target on this chart for a long, long time from this head and shoulders. And that's right at 45. So it's interesting that that's continuing to play out. Pulling this out. Okay. Okay, so this is, I believe, is in one big primary move to the high side here, 5 waves up. And so now this is correcting this entire move, okay? And it pulls back down to here. I mean, it's going to be getting close. And so when I look at this corrective action and I say, well, okay, if this is a W, because it's a, you know, there's an ABC W and then another ABC X, and so you know, here we thought, well, maybe it's ending when, because this would be a point where Y would be equal to W. You know, this move would be equal in points to this move, but it's continued to come on down and getting closer to this. And it's interesting that the other, when you get beyond that, the other, the next threshold I look for is 138.2. So if I add that Fibonacci number in there, that's down here to 135. Now, I don't know if we're going to get that low or not, but I'll bet you we get a pretty good shot at getting to 45. So that's kind of the picture on QIHU right now, and it's, you know, not pretty. I mean, it's definitely continuing to get hit to the downside. Solar City, similar, well, not similar, but it's in this choppy corrective action. Earnings came out again. I think they are the ones that had earnings here, and you know, clearly, you know, disappointing, you know, from the trading. I can't remember what, I didn't actually see the earnings announcement. So this is still in this corrective mode. What I'm expecting to happen, I'm looking for this to come down and get closer to this this trend line down here, which is a parallel of this trend line. So I drew this trend line, made a parallel line down here, and I'm looking for that to contain the corrective wave. That then when you look at the projection and you say, okay, here's W, here's X, where does Y equal W? Down here at 100%, which would be down here close to where that, oh, that's going the wrong way, where the trend line is, or parallel line is. So it's going to be interesting to see if we get continuation in this direction, but no matter what, you can tell we are still in corrective mode. We have nothing but overlapping waves. Okay, this is just choppiness. So the correction is still on. It's not in any kind of impulse move to the high side yet that I can see. And so we'll wait to see if that plays out. And the last one I'm going to take a look at today is Apple, which has continued to push, mapping out just beautifully this fifth wave move. And again, this is, fifth intermediate wave. Okay, we had 4 completed here, so this is 5. I think we have 1, 2. We're in a third minor wave. I'm expecting it to go to the top of the channel and probably going to break above the channel is my guess, and do like a throw over, just because I'm not seeing that fourth wave yet. Okay, and so like what I'm talking about is I'm seeing 1, 2, and this looks like all 3. Okay, I'm expecting kind of a sideways 4. And I don't think it happened in here. It may have. So we'll see how this continues to play out. But this does look like a 3, like it's becoming an extended 3. But the fifth wave is, would be the target would be the top of the channel or, higher. And so what is this move? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth wave. And so we'll continue to watch the wave structure here, but boy, it's been trading very, very nicely. I mean, it's just beautiful action, price action. This is the day the earnings came out. This is the day after the earnings came out. So not quite sure how much more we've really got on Apple. Could take one look at it this way, because I think wave three extended. So if I go to the top of wave 3, just ballpark, and bottom 4, right now, the first threshold I'd be looking for as a possible top is right where it's at. Okay. And then the next one is at 145. Okay. So if I had to guess, I guess we probably got a shot. I think it's going to push beyond where we're at. And so we get into a throw over, throwing above the channel, maybe we got a chance to get to 145. So that would be my guess on Apple right now. We'll just continue to watch and see how the short-term waves play out. All right, this has been Joe for Beyond the Chart. Long video today, and Saturday we kind of take a little bit of extra time and look at a lot of things. So I'll be back on Sunday with trade ideas. I'll take a look at what we've been in and see if there's anything new for the coming week, at least for Monday, Tuesday type of time frame, from the weekend perspective. So, okay, I think that's it. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. And if you're watching this anywhere besides my website, head on over there, check it out. We've got a few things over there for you to take a look at. And if you're not a subscriber, just subscribe. It's easy to do. Just click on the little red box here, and you can download the free PDF I've got for you, the 5 Essentials, and it gives you access to the Trade Ideas webpage also. All right, everyone. So until next time, stay focused, follow your plan, and trade without fear. Have a great weekend.